You're watching White Mountains TV. I'm Chris Prue in the North Conway studio with Lisa McCoy of Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris, so much for having me here. It's great to be here.
It is the start of another summer season here in the White Mountains, and we're talking about two of the area's signature attractions, Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road. Let's talk about what both of these attractions have to offer, starting with some big news at the Mount Washington Auto Road.
It is. It's history in the making. We are... we started paving the Mount Washington Auto Road starting in the early 70s, laying down little sections of pavement, like piece by piece by piece. And this weekend, we are psyched that we are able to offer top to bottom pavement.
Wow.
For anyone driving the Mount Washington Auto Road.
What does this mean for the average driver? How's the experience going to change, do you think?
I think that the average driver will love the experience, especially motorcyclists. Or especially if you have a low clearance car, like a sports car, that gravel section, it was really easily to have some bumps or little rocks or some dust, and so I think figuratively and literally it'll be a much more smooth ride.
Right. You mentioned paving started in like the 1970s, but the auto road itself began like the 1860s. So there's just been a long stretch where there's been like alternating pavement, dirt, and this will be the first year.
First time ever, all pavement. And the reason why this section wasn't paved, it's not because we were preserving it for any particular reason. It was just the most challenging section to pave. And so we had to kind of expand it and shore it up and make sure that, dig a couple additional culverts just to make sure that erosion wasn't going to be a factor on that slope. So,
and for people who have never been up the auto road before, what's the allure? What's the experience like of driving or taking a tour up the auto road?
It's interesting because it's honestly like nothing else that you'll experience. And I'm a hiker, and before I started working at the auto road, I didn't really appreciate the experience of driving it. When you're hiking it, it's a slow progression. You take, say 4 or 5 hours to get from the base to the summit. So you kind of see these zones that you're going through in time. But when you drive the auto road, you can get to the summit in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And it's a drastic difference between the base of the mountain and the summit. It literally feels like you're driving to another planet. And you're driving your car into the clouds and into the sky. And it's just like this feeling that you get of expansiveness that is kind of unparalleled. And it's your own car, or if you're taking a guided tour, you're learning about all these crazy stories that have happened on the auto road and the mountain itself. It's just a really fantastic experience to do.
They say the ecology on the summit of Mount Washington is similar to like Labrador, Canada. So imagine taking a drive from North Conway, New Hampshire, all the way to Labrador in 30 minutes. It's like almost like a time lapse of going through ecology and going through nature, climbing through latitudes. Except now you're going up.
Right. And right now the alpine flowers are beginning to bloom. I was just up there yesterday, and so you see some of those little, very, very delicate plants that they say, don't walk on because they are so delicate. Yeah. They live in this very rugged alpine tundra, and they're flowering right now, and it's beautiful. There's like little tiny yellows and pinks and blues. It's a gorgeous time to be at the summit.
And there are some things to do on the summit as well. You can, as you just mentioned, hike around to different areas.
Yes, stay on the paths.
Stay on the well-marked and established paths. But there's also different attractions up there. There's the Tip Top House and...
Yeah, although I believe the Tip Top House is still closed for renovations. The state park has been renovating the Tip Top House. It's the oldest building at the summit, and they're doing some renovations to better welcome guests in the future. And I think it'll be open and operational sometime this summer. They just haven't decided when that is exactly. Right. But there are, the state park building is there, and of course the Mount Washington Observatory Museum, which is a unique experience that you definitely must go in and experience while you're there.
A lot of fun. And of course, on a clear day, you can see to the Atlantic Ocean or into Canada and so far. But even on a bad weather day, it's kind of cool because you can drive up into the notorious world's worst weather.
Yeah. A lot of people say, it's cloudy, maybe I don't want to drive up there, but it's sometimes more memorable.
Yeah.
Because you get these, extremes of weather. It might be 80 degrees down at the base, and at the summit you're getting, 50-mile-an-hour winds and fog, and it's honestly like nothing that you'll ever experience without going there yourself.
That's on the summit. Now, down at the base of the Mount Washington Auto Road, you have this expansive trail system known as Great Glen Trails. Tell us what you can do there.
So Great Glen in the summertime is just beautiful. All the, again, flowers, wildflowers are blooming. Ferns are coming up. So you can walk, you can run or hike anytime. Dogs are welcome. The trails are free. If you want to bike on our trails, which is this whole network of carriage roads, so think Acadia National Park, and really very family friendly. You can pull behind a trailer bike or one of those little, those little trailers that you can put your little toddler inside, and really very family friendly. And head right out from our base lodge. We do rent bikes, but you can bring your own. But you do need a trail pass and, of course, a helmet to go out. And if you are out there on the trails, and if you have a mountain bike and you want to explore some of our more rugged single track, that's also available.
Yes, of course, that trail system is known for hosting the 24 Hours of Great Glen.
Yes.
We're going to get into a whole schedule of events, but while we're on the topic of mountain biking, that's coming back this August?
It's coming back this August, August 6th and 7th. It's sponsored by Moat Mountain Smokehouse and Brewery right here in North Conway, and it's a fantastic event. So 24 hours of mountain biking. You can do it as a team, you can do it as a solo, you can do a 12-hour race or a 24-hour race, get the full fun. There's a band on Friday night, and it's just like a super fantastic festival weekend of mountain bike racing.
It is a lot of fun. I see a lot of families just show up just to check it out, watch it. You have free kayaking in the pond there for the kids.
And we'll be happy to have you back as our race announcer.
I'm looking forward to it. It's always a good time. I think it's one of the signature events in all of the White Mountains. So speaking of events, let's keep going down the list here, because with a great venue like Great Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road, you host some amazing events. Running is really big right now. You have a weekly series, and also a couple of big events coming up.
Yeah, so this running series is Thursday night. You can show up anytime between 3:30 and 7 o'clock p.m. Go for your run. It's a time trial, and it's great training for our Black Flag trail running race and relay, which is happening on June 4th. And that event, like I said, it's either a 3-mile one loop, or you can do it 3 loops, it's kind of roughly 10 miles, or you can do that 10 miles as a team of 3, and each of your team members would run 1 loop. So something for everybody.
Yes.
Whether you just want to do a 3-mile loop and find a couple buddies to run with you, maybe make some fun t-shirts or something, have a good time. And then we're stoked because Moat Mountain again is sponsoring that event, and Shark Martin is going to come and play for the afternoon. So we do a little barbecue after the event. It's really fun, really
There's
super
always
enjoyable.
a festival going on at Great Glen Trails.
Smiles abound.
Real quickly, Memorial Weekend is coming up, and that usually starts kind of the summer season. You guys kick it off with the Alton Waffle event. Our own Hans Bauer, who is a veteran of this show and also a veteran driver for the Auto Road, always comes up with unique ways to participate. What is the Alton Waffle Day?
So Alton Waffle celebrates folks who, I'm going to say, creative artistic minds. People who love a challenge of creativity. And Alton Waffle celebrates first ascents of any kind on the Auto Road. And Alton Waffle was a character who reportedly walked up Mount Washington Auto Road backwards and blindfolded, once pushed up a wheelbarrow full of sugar without setting it down. And so we invite anybody. You can come and you can do a first ascent of your own as long as it's never been done. So this year we've got someone who wants to skateboard up the Auto Road. Not sure, in our all records, we don't know that it's ever been done. You got to really, kick to get any kind of traction to go up that steep grade. So we'll see how that goes. We have an individual, he's been doing it every year. He's coming with a theme of a circus. And we're also really excited. We're welcoming a New Hampshire company called iBot. It's a mobility device that it's on 4 wheels, but it uses technology kind of like a Segway, and it can rotate up so that the person in the wheelchair can climb stairs in this mobility device. But you have to look this up. It is a fantastic device that, and they're gonna ascend the Auto Road in it.
All right. Well, I hope someone gets some video of this
I'm all
to
over
share.
it.
That's exciting. And of course, Hans Bauer, who has been with this show for years and years and years, he has you mentioned Alton Weagle, how he went up backwards and blindfolded. He actually went up, he outdid Alton Weagle. He went up backwards, blindfolded, bearing bowling balls and bananas or something like that. And so
he's done all sorts of his own. He went up on a pogo stick, which he had to retrofit. You know this? He had to retrofit so that the angle of the pogo matched the angle of the mountain.
He's gone up on, in different months, he's gone up on stilts, on snowshoes. I think he's gone up on stilts in general in the summer. He's done it. He's done everything.
He's done it all.
I think he's crawled up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have Hans as I call him our official officiant of this event. So he helps us to kick it off.
Another way to go up the auto road actually is ATVs on select days,
yes,
right?
That's correct. It's ATVing has become really popular in recent years, and there's trails networks in the southern part of the state and in here generally around North Conway, and then of course in Gorham and Berlin.
It's
Huge ATVing. So we have opened up the opportunity for people to buy a ticket for their drive yourself on an ATV on specific days throughout the summer. So you have to buy it in advance.
All right. I think we've covered a lot, and we're kind of running out of time.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
I'm going to say, we really look forward to having you here. Come up to the Auto Road, come up to Great Glen Trails, book a stay at the Glen House Hotel. It is a beautiful destination, whether you're there just to drive the Auto Road or you make a full day of it or full week. Pinkham Notch is a beautiful place to visit, especially this time of year.
And there's your primer on Great Glen Trails and the Mount Washington Auto Road. Lisa McCoy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much, Chris, for having me here.
All right, you're watching White Mountains TV.